Welcome to Spirituality Explained for the Average Joe, where I take one spiritual topic and explain it to you in a short video to explore life's greatest questions.
We don't know what really is.
Like, who are we?
For the kingdom of heaven is within you.
And what are we? Where did we come from?
The time of conception.
Why are we here? And where are we going? Surrender. Stop, I quit. Today's topic is one of two of the biggest philosophical, most powerful of spiritual thought and teachings. Today's topic is surrender. Surrender, to give oneself up into the power of another. And the second biggest one I will give to you at the end of the video, along with an easy 2-week challenge I have for you. Surrender, it is one of my absolute favorite topics because it is one of the most powerful philosophical, ideological ways that people who are spiritual are living. But before we get started, please hit the subscribe button because I hope you think my videos are bringing value and inspiration to your life. And definitely after today's topic, I think that it should change your life actually and bring more sense of happiness and trust. You know, I often have friends ask me like, Beth, how do you manifest with the money? Or how do you manifest these things that you want? And, you know, sometimes I will say, most importantly, I feel good. Not just like I'm happy and I think good, like I physically try to feel good on a cellular level. But besides that, what we're going to discuss today is really the much longer version that I've never been able to give them. 2 books that completely changed my life forever is the motivation behind this video. So the first one is The Surrender Experiment. So let's jump into this fascinating premise. Okay guys, so life rarely unfolds exactly how we want it. And it should be pretty self-evident to us that we aren't in control of life, right? Like you can't control traffic. I can't control the dude mowing the lawn next door, right? Like we're not in control of our lives. Let's say the world is 13.8 billion years old, right? And these processes that have created existence has been flowing around us. It didn't begin when I was born, and it's going to continue to keep going after we die. But we actually walk around trying to control and determine what will happen in our life, which is why we have so much anxiety, fear, and stress. We actually believe things should be the way we want them to be versus the natural result of all the forces of creation. We give precedence to our mind's thoughts over the actual reality that's unfolding right in front of us. Like, it better not rain today because we're going hiking. Or that person behind me better stop driving that loud, noisy thing. Or, you know, I better get the promotion because I need the money. These are bold claims of what should happen, which are really just our own personal preferences. And we do this with everything. And when things don't happen the way we want to or manifest, something's got to be wrong versus just natural. Like that guy mowing the lawn next door. It's just natural. This is an extremely difficult way for us to live our lives because it makes us feel like we're always struggling with life. It's us, our individual will, versus the reality of life unfolding around us. So we're happy when we're winning and we're stressed when we're losing. We feel good when things go our way. But what this does is it creates us always trying to control our lives. But does it really have to be this way? There's so much evidence that life does just fine on its own. Think about it. For billions of years, like seeds have turned into trees and babies have come from a fertilized egg and made into cute little babies, and planets are staying in orbit. I mean, we didn't do any of this as conscious acts, right? Like it's done by the incomprehensible forces of nature and the life process. These are the very same forces that have been around for billions of years, but they're also the same forces that we're pitting our will against daily. If the natural unfolding of the process of life can create and uphold the entire universe, Is it reasonable for us to assume that nothing good will happen unless we force it to? Okay, so what would happen if we respected the flow of life and we used our free will to participate in what's unfolding around us instead of fighting it, right? So for example, if you had a car accident, you could be super mad that you have to do all the paperwork, or if you lost your job, you could think like, oh, life, gloom and doom. So are these just random events with no meaning or order? Or with the same perfection and meaning that exists in the universe start showing up in our everyday lives if we did nothing? Because again, let's go back to that car accident. For all we know, instead of getting mad about all the paperwork we're gonna have to do, you may actually end up getting like your car totaled and more money back, and you were able to get into the car that you actually really desired. Or for like the loss of the job, that may have opened up a window for you to take care of a sick family member, and you end up getting a better, higher paying job where you might meet your spouse or something, right? Like, these are the type of things that could happen if you just surrendered to what life was trying to give you, and you surrendered with grace and gratitude and overall knowing that everything's going to be okay. So here's the question that introduces the surrender experiment. Are we better off making up an alternative reality, fighting against reality in order to get to the goal we want our way? Or are we better off letting go and serving the same forces that help create the entire perfection of the universe around us? So that's the question that the author Michael Singer posed for this book. And for 40 years, he made a commitment that no matter what life threw at him, whatever anyone asked him, whether it's something he liked or wanted to do or not, he made a pact that he would say yes and see what happened. And by letting the flow of life just naturally intervene in his life, incomprehensible life journey took off. Like things he could never even imagine that he wanted. And his life was one of those people that has like 10 different lives. Like he had was the head of a spiritual yoga community at the end of it. He was able to obtain and buy land that was almost impossible to get. He, of course, became a billionaire and a CEO of a company that he didn't even know or wanted to create. And, he did all these amazing things, all by saying yes to a bunch of stuff that he would have never normally said yes to. So I highly recommend that you read this book because it's got tons of examples of just how awesome your life could be of surrendering. And it's also very hard to understand the entire philosophy of surrendering, because you're like, oh yeah, I got it, Beth, go with the flow. And I guarantee you, the minute you walk out the door, you're already going to insert your will that you don't realize that we're programmed to have our entire lives into the equation. So listening to the book or reading the book, I recommend more than once. But to give you a summary of the presence is the presence. Perfect example, guys. Let's just say, so my friend calls me up and we're going to do something that day, and she's like, okay, I want to go here and here, and then we're going to go eat at this restaurant. I've learned to say, that sounds great, versus, I don't really know about that restaurant, or maybe this, or maybe that. She's already had the idea. She's already had the planted seed. That's someone giving me something. That's me saying, yay, thank you, universe, I will say yes. But let's just say I was like, no, and then we end up going to a different restaurant and it's crap, or we get into an accident, or it's just not the same vibe. Where had I said yes and surrendered, I may have, see one of our favorite bands there, the food will be delicious, or I may actually meet my spouse or something that night. You just never know. But that right there is just surrendering. It's letting my life fold exactly as it was presented to me versus me inserting my will into the situation. Okay, so now we're switching gears and we're going to talk about the secrets to receiving these blessings that the universe is trying to give to us by surrendering. My next school of thought comes from someone that completely changed my life and probably will be one of the top 3 influential people that has forever changed my life. I was able to receive ongoing spiritual counseling from her, and I'm forever grateful to her for that. Okay guys, do this. Draw an imaginary line down the middle of the air. On one side of that line, you are loved. You're loved by infinite intelligence, or God, or Jesus, or universe, or just all that is, right? You're loved, infinitely loved. And the other side of that line, you're just not. You're not. It's either you are or you are not, right? It's either same line, draw another line. You are either protected on this side or you're not. We have to decide. And most of us, I'd say, we fall onto the side of, oh yeah, I believe like we're loved. I believe I'm loved, right? Or I believe I'm protected. But then you live your life completely opposite of that. We live our lives in like, I know I'm loved, but, worry. And I remember that's like one of the first things she taught me when I got to meet her and on a walk with her is talking to her about like security cameras or lights outside of my house. And she's like, you need to decide right now if you're protected or not. And that really changed my thinking. And I think that's really profound, guys. So really pick which side of the fence you're on and let's start implementing it into our actions and feelings.
Why? Because surrendering is easier when you believe you are loved.
There's this other school of thought from spirituality that because we come from infinite love and infinite source, for that very reason alone, we can receive massive amounts of abundance or anything we want, actually. And Maggie has these amazing books, so I definitely recommend you checking them out and looking them or buying them or whatever, because she has tons of amazing, like, inspirational quotes with pictures that help you ponder and understand these concepts. But another subject, I don't have my notes on me, is the idea of dominion, and I think I'll do another video on dominion that she had taught me about. But dominion is the idea that
you create and co-create with the unseen, and it takes trust. If you surrender, your whole dominion will work in your favor. You will receive everything you need.
You know, everything works for you. Like when I am hot, the wind blows. And when I drive, the seas part and the traffic lights turn green, right? So it's this natural, unruffable trust that things are always working out for us because we're connected to source, right? So if I'm hot and the wind will blow, or if for any reason I wanted fancied money to go do something fun, I know a check is in the mail for absolutely no reason. So why isn't this happening for all of us? So shortly, I think two reasons. One is that we're injecting our will too much into the equation. But the second one is this big topic of deservability. Oh yeah, deservability, that is a big one. But deserve is really a nasty word, so we're going to actually replace it with receive. Receive. We have a receiving problem in our culture. From a very young age, we were taught that you have to work hard to be successful and deserve, and do you deserve this and that? I mean, it's actually really ingrained to us. I mean, we can barely even receive a gift from each other without going, oh, you shouldn't have. No, yeah, you should. I'm amazing, this gift is amazing, and you're amazing. Like, what is so wrong with being like that? But we're not like that. It is deep-seated in us as a child to think that we're like sinners and we need to deserve and work hard, and we have a lot of childhood yuckiness that we all need to work out in order to receive. Like, you think you want money, but if someone actually tried to give you $50,000 tomorrow, your entire body's vibration and cells, everything in you would not know how to receive it. You would almost reject it, or the apprehension of knowing that you might even be close to getting that money would keep it from flowing into you. Trust me, until you really start getting into like really big numbers of money that could come to you, you'll know what I'm talking about like apprehension. Where am I going with this, right? Think about it. If the universe in its billions of years of creation has this perfect thing picked out to you and it wants to send it to you, if you're not even in the same vibrational vicinity of what the big gift that you're wanting to receive is, it's not going to be a vibrational match. You're probably not going to get it. You at very least need to be an open vessel, meaning like you don't need to be negative. You need to be an open vessel, neutral. So for example, again, if you lost a job, instead of being angry like, oh, I can't believe this, and this, going through the whole monkey mind of negative crap, look, give yourself a day to wallow in pity. That always really helps. Like, okay, for the next 6 hours or until tomorrow, I'm going to drink if you want to, or whatever. Just be the pity monster. But the next day, all right, different zone today, clarity. For whatever reason I lost my job, I know I'm protected. I know I'm taken care of. I know things are always working out for me. I am open to receive and ready to receive. And who knows, then things are going to work out for you. You're probably going to get a much better job and you're going to enjoy your time off. Or, you might meet your spouse at the next job. You get the point. Here is a wonderful quote. No one can give you what you don't feel you're willing to receive yourself. Anonymous. Two well-known books on riches is Think and Grow Rich and The Science of Getting Rich. Both books talk about man's propensity to feel guilt about the right to be rich. But in order to reach your highest self and to be successful in life, it is to become what you want to be. And in order to become what you want to be, you need things. You need unrestricted access to things to reach your highest spiritual, mental, and physical potential, aka the right to be wealthy. The Science of Getting Rich has one of my favorite quotes of all time by Wallace D. Waters. The very best thing you can do for the whole world is to make the most of yourself. And you can't make the most of yourself without money, because money equals freedom. And we all know there's no disputing that. So in closing, while we're trying on this experiment of knowing that we are loved, knowing that we are protected, that we're going to release and let go and let the world deliver what it wants to us, despite how things look, we still need to work on all that childhood gook of making us think that we aren't worthy to receive. So that's a big part of the equation in order to receive things. Okay, so now we're moving on to the second book, which is called Outrageous Openness by Tosha Silver. And basically, it's this woman that believed in invoking divine order in everything in her life, into everything in her life. So every situation she would say, divine order, come into my life. I'm open to whatever you give me. Show me a sign, or, just this complete outrageous openness for whatever the world could completely surprise her with. And so the book details story after story after story of just this crazy things that you would never think happened, but only happened because she actually allowed and surrendered for the universe to deliver what it wanted to deliver. But I do think very emphasis of reminding, like, hey God, I know that you're there, and like, dude, fix it or help me or whatever, or send me a sign. I actually think that definitely helps a lot more. One thing that I kind of do every day, just popped in my mind to tell you, so I'll share, is that I told God a long time ago, I know that you love me, but I want to be reminded of you always, constantly. So I want to see numbers line up every day, all day. I don't miss a beat. I see 11, 11, 12, 12, 13, 13, 1, 2, 3, 4, like 12, 21. Okay, so one of the fun topics I think to talk about related to outrageous openness is love and finding our romantic life partners, right, guys? And there's cool quotes that I'll share with you. And one of the things that I love that she emphasized is that a lot of people think that you will lose what you don't clutch and hold on to, but it's actually quite the opposite, right? So here's one of the affirmations that she had given someone to say on love. The perfect partner is already selected. She is arriving in the right way at the right time. I'm so grateful to receive her or him. And a personal affirmation that I say to myself when I'm remembered that, hey, you need to find a life partner, is, Lord, bless me with a life partner according to thy laws of perfect soul union. Now, I'm also told that just by saying that, if I were to be wasting my time like crushing on a dude that was never going to be my man, by affirming that, I will actually lose interest in the wrong guy, and it will pull in the guy that I want. But I have to say, most of the time, love is not on my mind, so I actually forget to affirm it. The only time I remember to affirm my love affirmation is when I'm getting a massage or when I'm getting my nails done, which is the funniest thing. Okay, so often in my life, my girlfriends are really, some of them are really assertive when it comes to dating, and they like taking action and like going out on dates and doing stuff. And for me specifically, I hope to meet an English guy, and I often live in London, and I can only live there for short periods of time before I come back to the States. And I do agree, I probably should be a little bit more assertive and putting myself out there more on apps and things to make dates happen. But I remember one of my girlfriends asked, like, oh, the guy you were texted, did you ever go out on a date? And I said, no, for whatever reason we didn't, or I can't remember why. And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, oh, I mean, it's hard to explain to someone. I don't think that way at all. But I mean, I was like, oh, well, that's okay. Everything is always working out for me. And the universe puts the right people you're meant to be with into your life effortlessly, with ease. I don't have to go out and like try to make anything happen. And if it doesn't happen, like, I truly believe that it wasn't meant to be. In fact, what my counselor Maggie, the amazing Maggie, I remember one time I was telling her, like, there's this girlfriend of mine that I just keep reaching out to and I really want to spend time with her and I haven't. And she said, did you ever consider that your guides are keeping you away from her maybe for a reason? Like, basically, it's probably meant to be. And that changed my life forever. That very instance and that very like drop of intelligence and that very thought. That's how I look at dating, right? So yes, I'll probably try to put in some effort, but at the same time, I'm just like, no, absolutely not. Surrender experiment. The right person will find you. Trust me, you could go to the very end of the earth and your soulmate will find you there if it's meant to be. And another thing is right now I'm working on myself, right? And my vibration's here, but if I waited another 6 weeks, self-help, self-development, I've grown as an individual. Now my vibration is risen, and I'm actually happy about that because you're only going to attract a partner of equivalent vibration, right? So if I'm up here, then that means I'm attracting a partner that's also up here. Had I met him 6 months ago and I was going through a bunch of junk and I haven't discovered and cleaned out a bunch of stuff of myself, I would have met someone struggling with the same issues, and the attraction base would be on basically all the childhood crap that both of us haven't figured out and worried out on, and we wouldn't have ended up working out anyways. So with love and relationships, I think really understanding surrender is the most powerful, freeing thing of all time, because you don't have to worry at all. And if you did want to make the effort, I would say like affirmations, like those 2 affirmations that I gave you. Speaking of affirmations, here's another wonderful cookie. My life is unfolding in divine timing. All the ways are beneficial. I'm always in the right place at the right time. Woo! Okay, here's another goodie. I have unshakable faith in the perfect outcome of every situation in my life, for I am allowing God to be in absolute control and guide me in all proper actions. Catherine Ponder. I'm telling you guys, these are so beautifully written because it is 100% spiritual truth, and that's why it rings so well when being read. Okay guys, so in closing, we are programmed to create goals to get what we want in life. And often when opportunities come at us, we mistake them for something to deter us from our goal, right? But usually that very route that's being offered to us is the route that our soul craves, because we didn't come here to live a boring life. Like, remember the picture to success? Like, there's no start here, go here. The picture to success is this crazy, unfolding, beautiful path. But that's exactly what our souls crave. Like, we came to planet Earth to muck about, because we all know that we're going to leave and expand in the death experience anyways. So live it to the fullest and start saying yes to a lot of the things that you're scared of or uncomfortable of, if it is presented to you. Okay, so my challenge for you is for 2 weeks, try the surrender experiment. Go with the flow, no resistance, letting go. You're being grateful for the changes that are being thrown at you, even a traffic jam, because that very traffic jam could be saving your life for all you know, or getting you better aligned for perfect timing to meet someone. Be grateful for the air in your lungs, and just say yes to the opportunities that are presented to you. And then also remember to invoke divine order or assistance. And then after 2 weeks, you can always go back to the dog-eat-dog world. But please comment and let me know how it goes. Really, in those 2 weeks, openly say I'm doing it, and then write a reminder or somehow, whatever you have to do in that 2 week period, commit to it. And remember, because even myself, but I forget all the time, I'm so grateful for all of my friends in my life, because they're constantly reminding me and readjusting my brain. Oh yeah, think Beth, you're spiritual. Like, all the time, I myself completely get knocked off, and I'm like, what am I doing? This is not even what I believe. Why am I worried? I'm protected. Things are always working out for me. I am loved. And the minute I really switch into that, man, my life, it usually is always great, and magic is always happening. So as I promised, there's 2 major philosophies in spirituality that really amongst my community we always talk about the most, or ask for, or wish that we could be, or we need better understanding of. Obviously, surrender is a huge one, because it allows God to take action and to take the wheel. The second one is attunement to God. It's also something that you could say is called alignment with source. That's what Abraham Hicks uses in her terminology, being in alignment. One person that's in alignment is more powerful than millions that are not. So I look forward to making a video about attunement and alignment one day. But thanks so much, guys, for watching till the end. I hope you did. It makes my day and it helps the algorithm. I've got to make 4,000 hours of video before I could even get monetized on YouTube. So I really appreciate it. I hope that you found value in this. I hope that if you implement this, I dare you to, I challenge you to, it will bring happiness into your life. It will resolve issues that you're looking for an answer. We need to get out of our way. Remember when people always say we're our own biggest problem? There is nothing more powerful than that truth. We are in our way. Get out of your way and surrender. Okay, thanks again so much. Because I brought inspiration to you, I hope I did. I hope that you could share me with someone you think I too may inspire. As always, I love you so much.
Good morning, sun. Good morning, life. Good morning, sun. How are you? Skies above. Gee, it's great.